We'll try this again with twisting the lead. And what I'm going to do is I put my lead in the vise so that it's nice and tight. And this drill, this screw gun, I should say, could be a drill, doesn't have a large opening to handle this, so I squeeze the end down just a little bit to get it into the vise so that you can put it in there like as though it was a drill bit. And slowly, as you can see, slowly start twisting the lead. And I've never used this cordless drill, and I won't be using it again. My other drill works so much better. I just thought this one would give it a try. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to match up the one drill bit looking lead to the other. And you can reasonably do this by having them side by side, so to speak. You can pretty much determine if they're about the same, and it looks like my new one needs to be just a little bit tighter. Reaching out with my left hand with the drill, and I pretty much have it matched up. It looks good. The new lead is quite silvery compared to the other lead where it's tarnished a tad. One way you can bring back the life of lead is with steel wool. So you could just take a piece of steel wool, but you might want to keep in mind all lead's going to tarnish. So it really doesn't matter. I'm just kind of giving you an idea that if you got really crusty lead to begin with, you're going to want to steel wool that. You want to use your lead nippers, and I only use these nippers only for lead. I'm trimming off the ends. I don't use them for wire cutting or anything else. I only use them for lead. So it's important to keep those in a safe place where you won't be tempted to cut some wire, or so that some friends won't grab your pliers thinking you're just general utility pliers. It's really important because you don't want these little teeth, these jaws, to get little serrations in them and such, so that you make nice clean cuts when you trim your lead pieces. I particularly like that. You can probably still work with it if they have little nicks and dings in them. I prefer mine only used for lead, and I've kept them aside for a couple years, and I've been pretty successful in doing that. Okay, now at this point my soldering iron's been heating up, and one thing you might want to do, again, so telling you that lead oxidizes, I'm sticking these on the floor for the moment. You might want to shine up your edge of your lead in your project piece. Not to make it pretty, but so that it has a nice, make sure that I'm getting a, so that it has a nice edge on it. Working on my camera here. Nice shiny edge to take the solder of the new coil that we're adding to it, this drill bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking a piece of steel wool and shining up, roughing it up, making it silvery again, because lead wants to tarnish right away, especially with humidity. If you live in a humid state, then your lead or even your solder oxidizes very quickly. You've got to work with your piece. This piece is all copper foil other than the edges, which will be lead, and then the trim I'm adding right now is strictly decorative. well, the one that I'm shining up right now is actually very functional. It's adding the strength to this window. And the other one that I'll be putting on in a minute, the coil, the one that looks like a drill bit, it too is structural. It adds some strength, but not quite as much. It's more of a decorative purpose. Very eye appealing. A lot of people wonder where I buy that twisted lead. Well, you just saw. Just need a drill. A little bit of patience. It's nice having two people do it so one person holds the clamp down. Okay, I put a little piece of wood here so that when I solder that I've got a back to work with, so to speak. I pull my project towards me, keep the tip. Just take your steel wool and clean your tip off. Turn the piece a little bit. I do it about every, I'm going to say 2 to 2.5 inches. I only tack solder it on one side. You don't need the other side soldered. It's ample. About every 2.5 inches. If it looks good, this one right here is about at 2 inches. And it's going to add a little bit of strength. And you do this method all the way around. And this is a 32-inch disc. So I had to do 2 pieces of lead. Because one 6-foot piece of lead is not big enough for the circumference of a 32-inch circle. And you can match right up to that old lead. It's pretty easy to do. That one needs a little bit more. Okay. So you get the point, and you go all the way around the window. And that's how I'm going to add the decorative soldering lead edge to the whole panel. And then I'm going to hang a hook on it on the next video. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.